And here he comes again off the turnover, and he slams it home! Outstanding girls basketball matchup between the team on top. To the forehead, he scores!
Good afternoon, and welcome back to Unscripted with SkoodSports. I'm John Skoudris. A reminder here on SkoodSports, bringing you all the sports that fit in to one video. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. More to come over the weeks and months ahead as SkoodSports gets set for the NFL season. We're going to have our full NFL preview edition coming up later this week. I'm going to take a look at every single team's schedule, predict every single game, and give you standings predictions as well as awards predictions, and of course, playoff and Super Bowl 53 picks. There's going to be so much to talk about here in the coming weeks and months with regards to not only Philadelphia sports, the Eagles, but also Boston sports, the New England Patriots. Tons of news coming out of Patriots camp. A lot of drama over the past 12 months with them. Has the dynasty died with the loss in Super Bowl 52? Or was it just a hiccup on their path to their 6th Super Bowl? We begin here today with baseball. Why not? It's the end of July, the trade deadline just 24 hours away, and the Philadelphia Phillies remain in first place in National League East. This despite losing 3 out of 4 to the lowly Cincinnati Reds on the road this week in a series in which, well, the offense was anemic. It disappeared quicker than, well, Trump's approval ratings. The problem with the offense right now is they're all young. They really don't have a lot of contact hitters. The guy that they expected to come through as 21, 22, 23-year-olds, the Scott Kingerys of the world, really haven't come to play. Nick Williams is heating up a little bit since he got the full-time starting job in the corner outfield. But the pitching staff is also a worry because after Aaron Nola and maybe Jake Arrieta, who's been hot and cold this year, it's really been a question mark. Zach Eflin has been a real bright spot for the Phillies, but even he got teed up a little bit yesterday by the Cincinnati Reds, who completed their series victory 3 out of 4 against the Phillies. The good news, however, is the Atlanta Braves are also struggling. The Washington Nationals are a dumpster fire, and no one else in the NL East appears poised to overtake the Phillies at this time. Atlanta lost the series to the Los Angeles Dodgers, avoided a sweep yesterday when Sean Newcomb was able to pitch a brilliant game, came 1 out away from a no-hitter. Of course, he then ended up getting doxxed on Twitter, I guess I'd say, as things went awry for him. They drew up a lot of old tweets from him. Really, players, you got to learn, when you become famous, get rid of those old tweets you made when you were a teenager. It will come back to haunt you in this day and age. Unless, of course, you're the President of the United States. Tonight, the Phillies get set to open up another road series, an abbreviated 2-game set against the best team in baseball, the Boston Red Sox. ESPN will have the broadcast tonight as David Price, the enigmatic left-handed starter for the Bo Sox, will get the start against Aaron Nola, the Phillies all-star representative who has been their ace and knight in shining armor from day one. Nola coming in at 12-3 with an ERA under 2.5. He has been outstanding, one of the best pitchers the Phillies have seen since they traded Cole Hamels back in 2015. And David Price, on the other hand, well, he has shown a propensity for inconsistency, one that is maddening the Boston fan base and airwaves, even more so than his verbal assault on Dennis Eckersley almost a year ago today. For the Phillies in this series, it's a 2-game set. They'll play 2 back in Philly later on in August. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up against the best team in baseball. The Red Sox offense is probably the best the Phillies will see all year. It's probably the best in baseball, especially with the Yankees going through so many injuries with both Aaron Judge and the catcher Gary Sanchez out now. But when you look at this series, a split would be something the Phillies would love to have. That despite the fact that on paper, at least, it appears that they do hold the advantage with regards to the pitching matchups. Price coming in at 11-6, but as I mentioned, he has been inconsistent, especially in big games, has struggled. And then tomorrow, Drew Pomeranz coming in at 1-4, another lefty against the Phillies lineup. And Pomeranz is a guy who they acquired a couple of years ago, gave up a top pitching prospect for him. He's been up and down, but mostly down here in 2018. Drew has suffered through some arm injuries. He struggled down in Pawtucket in AAA when he got an opportunity to rehab there. He's now back up and in the starting rotation for the moment because Eduardo Rodriguez is hurt again. But once Erod does come back, if he comes back, I would believe that Pomeranz would be the odd man out now after the acquisition of the right-hander Nathan Eovaldi, who was so outstanding in a shutout victory on Sunday. Facing off against Pomeranz is going to be Jake Arrieta. And Jake was the big fish the Phillies brought in the offseason to stabilize the rotation. A right-hander who has experienced Cy Young greatness and also postseason greatness. He's going to be critical to the Phillies down the stretch to provide a 1B to Nola's 1A. Arrieta this year is 8-6, but he has been up and down at times. His splitter has been solid. His command, though, could be better. Going to be interesting to see how he fares against the Red Sox lineup that provides so much punch from both sides of the plate, whether it be at the top of the order with Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi, or the heart of the order with the daunting J.D. Martinez, who has come over and been everything Red Sox fans could have hoped for, and much, much more. For the Phillies, the positives that come out of this series, if you win 1 out of 2, I don't care if it's tonight with Nola on the mound or tomorrow with Arrieta, you have to be happy. The Phillies are desperately going to need to come through in this series because it doesn't get a whole lot easier after that. The Phillies have a lot of tough games here in August. Coming up here, you see their schedule over the next couple of weeks. I'm showing you on the screen. The Phillies get Boston, and then they get a 4-game homestand against the Miami Marlins, a team the Phillies should be able to take care of, but they struggled with the Fish last month when they played them down in South Florida. And then the road trip, a West Coast trip at Arizona for 3. Arizona, a team fighting for a wild card spot, and at San Diego, a team that's pretty much given up on their campaign. And then back at home against Boston and the New York Mets. So the Phillies, if they can take 1 out of 2 from Boston, 3 out of 4 from Miami, they should feel pretty good going into that stretch later on in August against some teams they should be able to beat, including those Padres and New York Mets. We take a look at the National League Eastern Division standings. As you see on your screen, the NL East standing right now, the Phillies a game and a half up on the Atlanta Braves. 58-47, Atlanta 55-47. The Nationals, well, they are the picture of mediocrity at 52-53, 6 games back. And when you look at that, the Phillies, what do they need? I mean, you look at their lineup. They picked up Asdrubal Cabrera last week, a good pickup. Asdrubal's a veteran. He's been in the league now over 10 years. Used to be a dynamite, one of the best defensive shortstops in the league. His defensive play has tailed off a little bit, but his offense is still top-notch for a middle infielder. He struggled a bit in his first couple of games against Cincinnati, but the Phillies expect him to slot in well at second, short, and even playing sometime perhaps at third base when they want to give Michael Franco a day off. But the Phillies get set to take on the Red Sox this evening. It's going to be a great matchup as the Fightins will test their mettle against the best team in Major League Baseball. Folks, be sure to stay tuned later on this week. Most likely on Wednesday or Thursday, we are going to have our NFL preview edition here on Unscripted with SkoodSports. I'm going to take a look not only at the Philadelphia Eagles, an in-depth look at their championship defense this season, a tougher schedule, but a tougher team as well in Midnight Green. And we're also going to be taking a look at the entire NFL. I'm going to be going through the entire league and looking at standings and what I project by going game by game, every single game of the NFL season, predicting a winner and determining who will be the winner of Super Bowl 53. Will the Eagles defend their crown? Will I be overtly biased in that opinion? If that is my opinion at all, find out by tuning in later this week here on Unscripted with SkoodSports. As always, please do like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy the content. My opinions are that of my own and nobody else's. If you're interested in linking up for any future dialogues, whether it be joining me on the show through webcast or pre-recorded video, definitely let me know. You can shoot me an email at skudrissportscasting@yahoo.com. That's skudrissportscasting@yahoo.com. Took me a second to do that one real quick in my head. Or check out my website, www.johnskudris.com, for all of my information, contact info, booking info, and all past Unscripted with SkoodSports episodes. Again, until next time, this has been Unscripted with SkoodSports. Good night, good luck, and good sports.
Outstanding girls basketball matchup between the